Welcome back, Hidden Unicorns. I am your host, Danielle, and you're listening to the Hidden Unicorns podcast. Today, I have a special guest with me, Cheyenne. Cheyenne, would you like to share with me a little bit about yourself and the podcast that you host?
Okay, well, hi everyone. Hi, all hidden unicorns. Nice to meet you. I'm glad to be here. Um, like Danielle said, my name is Cheyenne Smith. I host a podcast called Truth Be Told. I've really just been doing it not even a year now, but the Lord told me to do it, so I did, and it was steady. And now I'm like putting more time and effort towards it. So I'm a believer, been a believer for a while, but committed my life to Christ September 27th, 2021. And I've just been walking with him, and I'm super excited to be here. Um, I love Danielle. She's super duper sweet. And so I am more than willing to just serve her well and giving of my time and to just be in the word with you guys today.
Oh, that's great. I love you too, Cheyenne. You are a great friend.
Thank you.
Okay, so today we are going to be in Proverbs 31, looking at how to be a woman of God and to fear the Lord. So after I read Proverbs 31, the first thing I noticed was that King Limon, um, he wrote Psalms 31 and was inspired by his mother. So his mother taught him how to look for a woman of God, and he was inspired to write the wisdom so that everyone else could hear about how a woman of God is.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I thought it was really good that one, his mother first taught him how to be a king first. So 30 Proverbs 31 starting verses 1 through 9 are talking about like the wisdom that she taught him how to be a king, how a king shouldn't drink wine or be intoxicated, or he'll pervert the justice and forget the law, or how he should open his mouth and judge righteously and speak up for the speechless. So like first he had to look at himself before and change things within himself, before he was to go on to look for a virtuous wife too, and how those same things inside of him were reflected in the wife that he was searching for as well.
Yeah. I think it's also good that his mom did tell him what to look for in a wife because even though like he was a godly man, the woman that you do bring into your life can take you on the wrong path.
Hmm. Yeah, literally last night I had a dream that, I'm on this date with this guy and we're in a car. It's going fine. But then and we go into this parking garage and it's going down, down, down. It's going so fast too. And these other people end up being in the car, and it turns out that he and this other girl was setting me up and setting this other person up to take our things and to, just take from us like my phone and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, when I woke up, I was like, Lord, whoever I date, I pray that they're a man of God, because it's just so it's just so dangerous, honestly, nowadays especially. So looking for first being a virtuous wife myself, or a woman of God myself, and reflecting, hopefully those things will be seen, and those same things should be seen in the man that I want to be with as well.
Yeah, that's
So,
really good.
okay.
The next thing I noticed was um, in verse 11 when it says, "The heart of her husband trusts her, and he will have no lack of gain." So this really stuck out to me because she was someone that he could trust and a man of God. cannot trust a woman who doesn't know the truth, and to know the truth that
Mm,
is through Jesus Christ. So, in order for you to be
mm,
a woman of God, you have to know God and believe in Him.
mm. Yeah, honestly, when I read, my version says the virtuous wife, but different versions name it a different thing. But the first thing I felt was like, I, who is this? Like, I don't know her. I don't think I am her. And really conviction. Not, I don't believe like if I'm single, so I'm not a wife yet. And so if I'm not, clothing my children in scarlet or, it's not a thing that's like a check off, like I have to do these things. And if I'm not doing these things, or if I don't have children, then I'm not, a virtuous wife. Holy Spirit, help me keep me on track. But what I'm trying to say is like Jesus and knowing the truth about Jesus will lead me to doing these things and leading my life in this way where I am strong. I do have strength and it's from the Lord and I work with my hands to provide for not only myself but all the people that the Lord has placed around me, whether it's at work or whether it's at church or with my friends and my family, like, or the needy. The Lord will help me and transform my mind and my heart to walk in that way and to lead and love um, from my heart in that way.
Yeah, that's good. Um, do you think like Proverbs 31 is like just for women who are like seeking marriage? Because I know you said that you are single and you don't think this is you are not this woman, but like when I see you with like kids and the youth, and even
Mm.
like kids at the school that you teach, I do see some of the aspects of you being a Proverbs 31 woman.
Okay. And your question is like, do I believe that this is for only for women seeking marriage?
Yeah.
Okay, so to one, thank you for saying those kind words. Like I do see myself in some ways, yes, but in everything that has been mentioned here, I don't know. And basically, even the virtuous wife or the Proverbs 31 woman is the application of the all the wisdom in Proverbs in this one woman. So Proverbs 1 starts with saying wisdom is like a woman, and then it's ending with this woman who has applied all the wisdom of Proverbs into every aspect of her life. And so I would say like I just haven't applied it in every aspect of my life. And it's something that, you as you go, you will continue to, the Lord will continue to grow you in and reveal to you, what you should work on and change and transition into. So that just comes with time. And then, two, do I only think this is for someone seeking to be married? No, because first, before I'm married, I'm the bride to Christ. So I am a wife
Mhm.
to Jesus, and He is my husband. And so, like, these aspects aren't just for the married, but they're for the single too. So, how I show up in my work, how I show up for the lost, for the speechless, how I show up for those who, you know, because some people, and I was thinking about it like when we were taking our time to study, I'm like, some people never have children. And so, it's just right to say, their child that they're not living up to this word. And it's not true. Like who the Lord has placed in your life as sons and daughters or brothers and sisters, are you taking care of them? Are you or are you just sitting idly by and just not doing what you should be doing, and not applying wisdom? No. So how I show up in my relationship with God and my marriage with God, this applies as well. Even when I am married, the Father would come first. My relationship with God will come first, and making sure that I'm still honoring Him and loving Him and doing the work unto Him, and not just my husband or my family, because you know from there everything else flows. From my relationship with God and that righteousness and that right standing with Him, everything else will overflow.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that. I like how you said that you are in a marriage with Christ and how you
Mm,
are constantly growing in your wisdom.
mm,
Another thing I noticed in this passage is that we have to remember the time period where this
mm,
happened, because a lot of the times, like, women um were not valued. So
mm,
she went, like, against culture, and she did not care what other people thought. She didn't care how other women were acting. She followed God and respected Him above everything else. And we see this
mm,
with Jesus, how He went against culture, and He lived a lifestyle of being set apart and being different.
mm. Yeah, I definitely think it just speaks to the Father's heart for women. I mean, we even looking at the whole Bible, him looking at the lineage of Jesus, where it's mentioned in Matthew, he mentions women in the lineage, and so and they may not even been Israelites but Gentiles or of another ethnicity altogether, and they're a part of this story. And so women, God cares about women, and He doesn't just see them, He sees them as someone strong and valuable. Even the from 10 Verse 10, who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. Like, God cares so much about women and sees them as such a precious thing. And also, it came up in my study, it's like the word helpmate. When he describes a wife to a husband, he uses that word. But that word is also used to describe God Himself for Israel. And so, like, there's strength, there's power. Even when I was doing the study about um this poem, Proverbs 31:10 to the end, like some of the words that were used are like military words that, even though, it's not translated from the Hebrew, perfectly, like it was used in that poem to describe this woman. So even to verse 16, she considers a field and then buys it for her profits, and she plants a vineyard. Like, she's calculus, like she's smart, she's intelligent, she is strong, she wakes up early, she's humble, you know, and she cares for the poor, she's compassionate. So she's all these things. And she's just reflecting the image of Jesus Christ as well in her life. So I think it's like answering that question, okay, how can we look at Jesus, look at His example and apply it in my daily life? How can I, as a 23-year-old teacher, single, Black woman, apply this truth about Jesus Christ to my life and every aspect of my life? So I think it's there to encourage us, to uplift us, and not only women but men as well. With even mentioning King Lemuel, and he having a strong woman and mother to teach him these things. But men and women being virtuous in the light of what Jesus has done for us.
Yeah, that's good. I like how you said she was humble because in verse 25 it shows us that she was also humble with how she dressed. That she
Mm,
had and she valued her body and her body was sacred.
mm, mm,
And that can be hard for a lot of young females to view their body as sacred. And um so the fact that she she spent that time understanding and really valuing her body is really special. I also liked how it says that she laughs at the time to come because that shows us that she had the joy of the Lord. And the joy of the Lord only comes through knowing Him through salvation and what He has done for us.
mm. Yeah, we another place as well, verse 30, charm and is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. And so she had this joy because she feared the Lord, and when you fear the Lord, you have an expected end to live eternally with the Lord, with the Father. And fear not being afraid, but honoring, respecting, reverencing, putting above all else. That's what she means. Like knowing, like being afraid to be without him, not wanting to be without God. That's
Mhm.
the fear of the Lord. And she had this, and from that place and accepting it, she didn't have fear of the future. No, even though she had a family, and even this day and age, like to have a family and the times that we're in, it can be scary if you're just looking at the world. But her eyes were fixed on Christ and putting him first and just like totally involved with her relationship with him and what she was doing with her hands for him to give back to him, that she had peace, like you said. She had peace to know that she'll be okay.
Yeah, that's good. Um, Another thing that stuck out to me was like the fear of the Lord, she would be praised, is that her husband and her children noticed what she was doing. They were appreciative and they
Mm.
respected.
Yeah, I was talking to my my dad was talking to us. We have a family prayer line that we get on and just pray for each other, and all honor to God and glory to God, because it wasn't us who was like, oh, we should do that. Like the Lord definitely led us to do those things. And we've been doing it for a year now, and we've seen the fruits of just coming together and praying. But he was mentioning how, like we all want to be accepted, like by God and by man. And like that's just a real thing. Like I want to have friends. I want to have people who love me, who want to spend time with me, who care about the love that I give to them, who appreciate it. Like that's a real thing. And it's explained to me like the way to go about it is not by charming your way or by your beauty or by your body or by sin, but it's about from fearing the Lord and loving him and loving these people well and honoring him and everything you do. That's where you know, that's where you should feel that affirmation come from, not from sin.
Yeah. And also like being okay of not being accepted by everyone because I'm
Mm,
pretty sure that this Proverbs 31 woman was not
mm,
accepted by a lot of women in the culture because she was doing things differently. But as long as she
mm,
had Jesus and her husband and her family, she was okay.
mm. Yeah, verse 31, give her of the fruit of her hands and let her own works praise her in the gate. So, yeah, people may not like you and you may face persecution and all these things. but your work speaks for themselves. Like even though people may not like you, what you do and the love that you give, and it being from the heart and not for something to deceive anyone, the care and the compassion, like they're gonna know the difference. And glory be to God, is hopefully it will point them to the Father, and the Lord will soften their hearts to seek Him.
Mhm.
But yeah, you don't really you don't really worry about the haters. You pray about the haters, and you just love the people who are willing to accept your love. And when they're ready, then they'll be ready.
Yeah, that's good. Because like her goodness and her faithfulness and her wisdom, it
Mm,
flowed into the life of other people. It didn't
mm,
benefit her; it benefited a lot of other people.
mm,
And also, I noticed that she was a hidden unicorn. She was
mm,
holy, she was weekly, and she was set apart for Yahweh.
mm,
And her whole life was
mm,
to glorify God, and that is exactly what she
mm,
did.
mm, mm.
Well, thank you, Cheyenne, for joining me and talking to me about being a woman of God. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember that you are
Yes.
a special hidden unicorn, and I will
Mm.
talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right. Bye.